The topic for today is pattern matching in SQL, preferably in Oracle. This concept is present in all the places, but I'm explaining the Oracle pattern matching. So let's understand the problem statement. Okay, when do we use this? When does this come? All these things. Okay, first thing what you have to understand. Let's try to understand what is a pattern and how does it differ from a normal condition. For example, if I ask you a question like this, what is the question? A simple question. Okay, I'm just going to write a query to find out all the employee names whose name is Smith. If I'm asking that, how are you going to solve this question? It's a very simple question. You are going to select the ename from the EMP table where the ename column is equal to Smith. Okay, the reason you are doing it is very simple. The values given are exact. When I'm saying value, what is it? It is the condition value. Okay, this is exact. The same question I can ask it in a very different way. Okay, I'll just give you an example. Write a query to find out all the employee names whose name is starting with S. Now try to understand the difference between that. The condition value I'm giving or the condition value I'm giving is not exact. When I'm saying exact, what I mean is I'm not saying Smith, Allen, Rohit or something like that. I'm just saying the name should start with this. If I'm saying that, how do you handle that? Okay, condition value, it is a pattern. Okay, the moment you have these kind of pattern based conditions, how you have to do? Okay, the same formulas you have to, the same methodology you have to follow. Okay, nothing will change. Okay, you should not use equal to. Equal to is meant for exact condition value. Whenever there's a pattern, you have to use a keyword by the name like. Okay, and you have to say yes, it should start with S, and after S anything can come, that is percentage. So two things you have to remember here. First thing, what is the meaning of like? This is a keyword you are going to use for pattern matching. Okay, so instead of using equal to, just like in or not in or is null, okay, you are using like. So you should not use equal to, greater than, lesser than, all these things. You have to use a keyword by the name like. Now let's try to understand percentage. What is the meaning of percentage? Okay, basically what does percentage say is it can be anything and it can be of any length. What do you mean by that? For example, if I write a pattern like yes percentage, so let's say if there is a name called as Smith, this will get shortlisted. If there is a name called as Sam, this will get shortlisted. If there is a name by the name yes, these also will be shortlisted. So these are the valid values. Okay, now in case if I say only percentage, if I just keep it like this, what will happen? All records will be shortlisted. All records will be shortlisted. So let's try to recap few things. Okay, what am I doing? If I'm using this yes percentage, what is happening? I'm just saying all the values will get shortlisted. However, if I'm using percentage, what will happen? whatever name is there, it can be Rohit, Sanjit, Sam, or anything, all the values will get shortlisted. Did you understand this part? So I've shown you the importance of like. When you have to use like, whenever the condition value is a pattern, you have to use a like operator. So this is one example for that. Same example, I'm going to twist it. Okay, same example. Okay, just observe how it works. For example, if I ask, write a query to find out. Let me change the font color. Write a query to find out all the employee names whose name is starting with S and ending with H. If this is the condition you are saying, again, this is a pattern. Okay, I'm not giving you an exact value. I'm not giving you saying something like King, Scott, or something. I'm just giving you a pattern. It should start with this. It should end with H. Okay, so it can be a Sarah, it can be a Smith, any kind of name. Okay, how do you solve this? The same constructs you have to use. Select ename from EMP, where ename like, yes, it should start with this. After this, it can contain anything, but at the end it should be containing what? H. So what are the valid values that can get shortlisted? Okay, what will be the valid values? Try to understand. Let's say Smith is there, that is a valid value. Okay, let's say there might be a name by the name Sarah, that is a valid value. Okay, these are the valid values. Let's say if there is a name called just SH, even this also will get shortlisted, because percentage can be anything also. Got it? So this is some of the important things you have to understand in pattern matching. Okay, now let's look at, so this query, I have formed it in this way. Okay, the same query I can form it in a different way. Observe carefully. How do I write it? Using the same constructs. I'm not changing the constructs. When I'm saying constructs, I'm not changing the way I'm writing select from where. Everything remains the same. Every condition has three components. Still we are having three components. What are three components? Condition, column, operator, value. We are still having that, but the value is in the form of a pattern. That's it. I'm using appropriate keyword for that. Same thing I can write it in like this. Okay, for the same question, how will I write a different query? From EMP, where ename like yes percentage, this is one condition. I can write another condition, ename like percentage H. So basically what am I doing here? I'm clubbing the condition. Here what am I doing? I am splitting the condition, but the end goal is the same. For both of these queries, the valued values are the same. How it gets evaluated? Very simple. Try to understand. So first it will come to this record. Will Smith get shortlisted? Is the starting letter S and the ending letter H? Yes. So what it will do? It will come to the next record. So this record will get shortlisted. It will come to the second record. Alan, no, because it's not starting. W, no. Jones, no. Martin, no. B, no. Clark, no. Like this, yes. Okay, first condition is satisfied. Is it satisfying the next condition? Is it ending with H? No. So out of these many 14 records, how many records will get shortlisted? Only one record. Which is that one record? Smith record. So the valued value will be Smith. But in case if there was a Sarah in here, Sarah also will get shortlisted. In case if there is a SH somewhere here in this record, SH also will get shortlisted. So you have understood two important things. What is a pattern matching? How to analyze the pattern matching condition? If there is a pattern matching condition, what are the operators you have to use? The first operator is you should use like, and the second is percentage. What does percentage stands for? It can be anything and it can be of any length. Okay, now I'll introduce to you one more pattern matching operator. I'll just with an example. Same question, I'm going to say it like this. How will I say? Write a query to find out all the employee names whose name is having 5 letters. Okay, if this is the condition I'm asking you, how will you solve this question? Try to understand. Select ename from emp where ename. If I write percentage, what will happen? If I write percentage here, what will happen? Basically, it will shortlist everything. The reason being, it can be of any length and it can be anything for that matter. Even if I write percentage 5 times, still I'm not going to get anything. But writing percentage 5 times and writing it 1 time, both are one and the same. Because percentage, it can be of anything, right? It can be anything, it can be of any length. But here specifically, what am I saying? It should be containing only 5 letters. In these kind of scenarios, what you have to use? You have to use underscore. That is 1 letter. So this 1 underscore says the ename should be having 1 letter and that letter can be anything. If I'm using 5 underscores, what it says? It says that ename like 5 underscore will say that ename can contain 5 letters and that 5 letter can be anything. Those 5 letters can be anything. So in simple words, whenever there is a restriction on length, means it should contain 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters, what you have to do is you have to use 1 underscore. What does 1 underscore mean? Is 1 underscore means that it can be 1 character. Hopefully my spelling is right. 1 character that can be anything, but it should be of only 1 character. But in case of 1 underscore, if I use 5 underscore, what it means? 5 letters, those letters can be anything. Okay, so that is how we have to look at it. Okay, let me highlight the important points. Okay, so that you will have a clarity. This is one, this is one. Okay, hopefully I have introduced you 3 important keywords. One is like, one is percentage, one is underscore. Now let's combine all these things, okay, and form a query, okay, so that we'll get the grasp of the concept. Okay, write a query to find out all the employee names having more than 3 letters starting with more than 3 letters ending with H. Let's say if this is the case. So what am I saying basically in this query? The values which I'm looking at, or the values which are about to be shortlisted, are minimum it should contain 3 letters. Okay, maximum it can contain 100 letters also, 500 letters also, 600. It is left to our imagination, but it should contain 3 letters. If that is your scenario, how are you going to solve it? Select ename from emp where ename like. So this much is clear. I'll use a single quotes 1 2 3, 3 underscores. So what does this do? This tells me that it should contain 3 letters, but my requirement is not that. It should contain minimum of 3 letters, having more than 3 letters, right? In that case, what I should do? I should say percentage. If I use a percentage, what happens? Minimum it will contain 3. After 3 letters, it can contain how much ever it wants. and then I'm going to use a logical operator, and then I'm going to say ename like percentage h. Okay, so what am I doing now? They should satisfy three conditions. What is the condition? It should contain minimum of 3 letters, and it should have the last letter to be H. So what are some of the values that can get shortlisted? Okay, in case the data is there in the table, what are the valid values? Okay, let's say there is a name called as Smith. This will obviously get shortlisted. The reason being it is containing more than 3 letters, and it is having H. Let's say there is a name called as SMH. Will this get shortlisted? Yes. Let's say there is a name called Sarah. Will it get shortlisted? Yes. Now let us understand what are the non-valid items which will not get satisfied. Non-valid values which will not get shortlisted. What are those? Let's say there is something called SM. It will not get shortlisted. The reason being it's containing only 2 letters. Let's say there is something called as SOM. Even this will not get shortlisted. Why? It is containing 3 letters. One condition is satisfied, but the other condition where the last letter is H, that is not getting satisfied. Let's say there's something called SIC. Even this also will not get shortlisted. Okay, let's say there is something called SH. It is having 2 letters. It is satisfying one condition, that being the last letter to be H, but it's not having 3 letters. So one condition is not. So these are some of the non-valid values. Okay, so what are we doing here? In the same query, I am using both. What are those both? I am using underscore as well as percentage. On a very high level, how you have to look at it is, you have to look at, or you have to think like that underscore has a restriction on the length. When I'm saying underscore has a restriction on the length, basically I'm saying it should be only one letter, one underscore. Whereas percentage doesn't have restriction on length. It can be nothing also, it can have 100 values also, 1000 values also. But underscore is having a restriction on length. That's why I'm saying it can be only one character, that can be anything. It can be anything and it can be of any length. Okay. Hopefully this is the pattern matching. Based on this, there are various combinations of problems which we can solve, but we'll look at it later. But this is the basic concept.